That's good.
Our picture is good. Sound good too.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
Ready? All right. All right, shalom, shalom. All right, we're the brothers from the Great Millstone, Charleston. All right, the water brother. All right, shalom. Yahweh Shimi Ashabakata. All right, we're the brothers from the Great Millstone, Charleston. All right, back again another week. All right, prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom, which is America, Babylon the Great, in the scriptures. Without further ado, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the brothers pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the brothers and the sisters listening and learning, the hopeful elect. All right. So, another week has gone by, and another week of prophecy, because we're in the time of prophecy, and we're the generation of prophecy, and this man's kingdom is coming down. You see it in the degeneration of the people, man. The people have become degenerate. The people, all they can do is celebrate. All they can do is lash out and be angry. The people, our people as well, 2/3 of our people, they're all becoming effeminate. Everyone has anxiety nowadays. You can't say the truth. You gotta sugarcoat everything. So this man's kingdom is coming down. But little does everyone know it was designed to come down. But Esau has deceived the whole world thinking that his kingdom will last forever. But the Lord has something else to say about that. We'll just go right into Lamentations 4. You start at 18 or so, I believe. The Lord's bringing this kingdom down while everybody else thinks that this kingdom is going to continue on forever. Esau has the world thinking that. Esau has the world thinking that he's the man with the plan that's gonna carry on forever. Got it? All right. Yeah.
All right. So the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, starting at verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets.
Oh, you can start up.
Start up a little bit. All right.
Yeah, where it makes sense.
All right.
Might be 22.
All right. I'll start 21. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz.
Why is the Lord, or why is the prophet, why is the Spirit telling the daughter of Edom to rejoice? Is it rejoicing that your land is going to be yours forever? Is it rejoicing that Esau is going to be a ruler forever? Is he going to be the tender among the nations? Is he going to be seen as a standard upon the earth forever? No, it's not telling them that. It's because they have but a short time. Hey, rejoice now. Rejoice now, but pretty soon, all right, your reign is going to come to an end. And, for the most part, it's sarcastic. It's sarcasm. Because what it goes on to say after that, it tells you about the cup. Now, usually when a cup comes on to you, you having a merry time with your brothers, and you pass the cup to your brother, and drink this. It's some good stuff. We're rejoicing. But this isn't that type of rejoice. This isn't that type of cup that's about to be passed on to Esau. You got it, bro.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
Yeah, the cup shall pass through unto thee. So the cup that we had, right? Was it a good cup? See, this is the cup that put us into slavery, man. This is the cup that made us suffer for hundreds of years under the rule of Esau Edom. So this isn't a good cup that's going to pass on to Esau. But the Lord is being sarcastic with it. You know, the Lord's dark humor. You know, I got a dark sense of humor. So I can relate to this, man. I can read this scripture and I can laugh at it. Because Esau's about to get exactly what he deserves. You got it, bro.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked.
That's right. And you're going to make yourself naked. So you're going to be shameful. Everyone's going to know your shame. You got it, bro.
Verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
That's right.
He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
So this is during the time of our salvation. All right. Once we're out of this captivity, there's going to be no more captivities for us. There's going to be no more getting taken over by the Medes, getting taken over by Ishmael, getting taken over by Elam, getting taken over by Moab. There's going to be no more of that, especially there's going to be no more getting taken over by Esau. He says the punishment of thy iniquity has been accomplished. So the punishment that we receive for not serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, according to the law, statutes, and commandments that we were supposed to, that's been accomplished. All right? Really, it's been accomplished already. In the spirit, we just have to play it out in this physical realm. Because Yahushua came back, right? And he bought us with his blood already. We just have to finish out the sentence. Once we finish out the sentence, you know, there's no more captivity for us. There's no more curses upon us. We're going to be good. But who's that coming to? The curses is going to go somewhere. The captivity is going to go to some people. Who's it going to? Not to us, but to Esau. You got it, bro.
It says, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
That's right.
He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
Now he's going to discover and visit the sins of Edom. And people may say, well, Edom wasn't under the covenant. How can they sin? Well, they sinned when they changed the judges. All right, they tried to change the judges to their faces, right? They sinned when they perverted the image of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, that's when they sinned. Taking words out of the scriptures, changing the words, changing times and dates. All right, they what they do? They made their own holidays. All right, which was supposed to be holy days, but they're hellified days, man. They're days full of demonic energy and witchcraft. So Esau has a lot to pay for because he's violated the universal commandments. Not just the commandments that was given to the Israelites, but the universal commandments. He knew he wasn't supposed to do that. And this is why he did it, because he's the wicked. You got it, bro.
I'll reread that. This is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins.
That's right. He's going to discover the sins of Esau. And when he discovers the sins of Esau, all right, Esau's punishment begins. And that's going to happen during our salvation. Can we get, what you got, bro?
Zechariah 2, real quick.
All right. And can you get 2nd Esdras 6?
All right, this is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
Uh-huh.
For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you, for he hath toucheth the apple of his eye.
Go ahead, bro.
So, let me reread it again. Zechariah 2 and 8, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Uh-huh.
And that's what the nations have done. They touched the Lord's chosen people, are his precious gems, his precious jewels. Like me and the brother was discussing earlier, if you go to Joel, the 3rd chapter, we were sold for wine. You know, wine and different goods. We were as goods. You know, back in slavery. All right, what is it? Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter.
Yeah, man, we were a global commodity.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They traded us throughout the world. These other nations had a hand in it as well.
Right.
All right. We were seen as the single most important, single most important commodity on the earth is to have a slave, especially a Hebrew slave, man. That was not just Hebrew slave, because there's other Edomites are Hebrew,
Right. Yeah.
but an Israelite slave. That's what they wanted. The single most valuable commodity on the earth. And pretty soon, the table's going to be turned, man. Esau is not going to be the single most valuable commodity on the earth as when he's a slave, because Esau is going to be useless as a slave, man. It's basically going to be our pleasure to inflict punishment on Esau. That's what it is. Because this guy's weak. He's stupid. You know. What? He's weak mentally. We get no pleasure. There's no benefit to us having Esau as a slave. Now, there's a benefit to having a Moabite, a Hamite, an Ishmaelite as a slave. But Edomite, man, hey, listen, you're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to slaves. You know? And that's your just punishment. You're going to have Ham. Ham is going to be your Lord. You know, Ham's going to be Ishmael's Lord. I don't like Ishmael. Ham's going to be Ishmael's Lord too, man. Ham's going to be at the top. You know, it's going to be Moab, Ishmael, and Esau down at the bottom, man. You damn roaches.
I got GNT real quick. It says, Zechariah 2 and 8, anyone who strikes you strikes what is most precious to me. So the Lord Yahweh Almighty sent me with this message for the nations that have plundered his people. The Lord himself will fight against you, and you will be plundered by the people who were once your servants.
That's right.
When this happens, everyone will know that the Lord Almighty sent me. That's plain.
That's right. So these other nations are going to come against Esau as well as our people. He's going to get his just punishment. Can you read that again, bro? Sure.
Yeah, I got you. So let me get it real quick. 28, bear with me, bro. All right, this is,
You got it, bro?
yeah. All right. Zechariah 2 and 8, G&T. Anyone who strikes you strikes what is most precious to me. So the Lord Yahweh Almighty sent me with this message for the nations that have plundered his people.
That's right.
The Lord himself will fight against you, and you will be plundered by the people who were once your servants. When this happens, everyone will know that the Lord Almighty sent me.
It's Salaki. I said the nations come against Esau, but really that's us coming against these other nations. All right, when the Lord rises up and lifts up that standard upon the earth, all right, men begin to get spiritual power, and we get our power back on the earth. Rulership comes back onto us. All right, just before it's cemented, our rulership is cemented on the earth, what's going to happen? The Lord's going to send out his hunters, right? Right now, he's sending for fishers. Fishers to fish men on the earth to come to the, what's it called? Come to the wedding or to come to the feast, you know? But pretty soon, the Lord's going to send out hunters during the tribulation. And when the hunters are sent out, we're going to hunt men. The Lord's going to hunt men with his army. All right, they're going to go to different places upon the earth, places like Russia, places like Africa, places like Asia,
Underground bunkers over there.
places in Europe. They're going to go to these places, and they're going to hunt the elites of these nations and put them into slavery, put them in servitude. That's what's going to happen. Ain't no sugarcoating it. All right, these people are going into slavery. The women are going to be beheaded, especially the woman that has been with men. They're going to be killed. The only ones that's going to be left is the children and the high-priced slaves, the elites, and then you got the women that have not been with men. You know, that's if you desire it, man. Everybody else is going to be put to death. That's what's going to happen to these nations because of what they've done to us. And the Lord's going to allow it. All right? But before that, you know, we can go to 2nd Ezra 6. We're going to go to the foretelling of this happening. Because it tells you our rise, Jacob's rise, and Esau's fall is together. When Esau falls, Jacob's is there to rise. Thereafter. You got it, bro.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
That's right, and we're getting closer and closer. Can we get 2nd Ezra 9? To that time period. Because the prophet Esdras is asking, when is that end? When is that time? What's going to be the sign? What's going to happen during that end? Salaki. The prophets, he's asking all those things. And we're saying that this is that end right now. We're in that end right now. We ain't got long to live. I said we ain't got long to live. We ain't got long left, you know, to be in this place, to live in this place, man. You know, because this place is the matrix. This place ain't really living. This place is a, what's it called? A simulation. You know, Esau say, you know, when Esau, what's it called? When he wraps his minds around the concept of God, he always talks about this place has to be a simulation if God is real. It is. It is. It's a simulation that the Most High set up for us to conquer. We have to get past and endure all the wickedness in this place to receive righteousness again. But it's very much real as well. Because what we go through is real. You know, you don't want to take nothing away from a brother what he goes through. But it is a simulation in the sense that all these people, they don't mean anything. The only people that mean something is the elect of the Lord. the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. They're the only people that mean anything in the world. What does the Lord say? All the nations are as spittle. So we may think this is more like, oh, he's a good dude, this, that, and the third. You know, they actual people, they bleed like us. Man, what the Lord say? The nations are as spittle, man. They are as a drop of a bucket, right?
Right, yeah.
So that's the simulation. We gotta get it out of our mind. What else the simulation? The wickedness. The wickedness that we have to endure. That's the simulation as well, man. Because the 2/3 are going to be put to death. The only ones that's going to be left here is the righteous. The ones that continue in righteousness. So we got to get it out of our mind that this place matters. The possessions in this world matters. It don't. You got it, bro.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Measure out the time diligently. So we're supposed to be looking to the signs, the current events of this world, and figuring out when we're going to get out of here. You got it.
It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
That's right. And when the highest begins to visit the world which he made, what's that? Our salvation. And what are we looking for? The signs.
Oh, yeah.
You got it, bro.
It says, verse 2, I'll read it back in verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
That's happening. Earthquakes, the uproars of the people in the world, that's happening, man. People are getting fed up with their governments. You know, people are ready to pounce on their government elected leaders. You know, the problem is, I can say the problem is wickedness. That's the problem. You know? I wanted to say the problem is that we elect leaders instead of electing the issue. But really, it's just the wickedness. The wickedness is in power. So that's the true problem. And the Most High has set it up that way for us to fight it. Can we get 2nd Ezra 7,
I know what you're talking
57, 54, I believe.
54. 2nd Ezra 7 and 54. We have walked in unpleasant places. Let me jump down.
It might be up.
Oh yeah, verse 57. I got you. I'll start at 56.
Con.
2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 56.
Yep.
For while we live in committed iniquity.
That's right. While we lived and committed iniquity, this is the iniquity and the wickedness that we have to go through. So we live and committed iniquity. This is when we were outside the truth, right? The 2/3 of our people, mostly. You got it.
We consider it not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
So this is what happened when we first came into the world, and we went against the commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. What happened to us? We considered it not that we would come back again and suffer for it. So this is our suffering, the punishment that we're receiving for going against the commandments, law, statutes, commandments of the Lord. We're going against the Heavenly Father, serving other gods. This is the punishment that we're going to receive. What else it says?
It says, I'll start back at 56. For while we live in committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
All right, and we're suffering, man. We're in a place where we're suffering. And our suffering is about to end pretty soon. It's because the elect is coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. All the prophets out there on the highways and the byways, sighing and crying in the midst thereof, they're being marked right now. And when that mark hits the 144,000, all right, it's going to be a domino effect when it comes to prophecy. All right, World War III is going to hit off. When World War III hits off, the MOTB hits off. When the MOTB hits off, the Lord comes back. When the Lord comes back, we're saved. You know? We got to think about it like that. Brothers got to think about it in haste like that. We can't think about it in long segments because brothers get weary. They're like, man, it's taking too long. What's that scripture say in Matthew? It says, woe unto that servant. That saith my master delayeth his coming and begin to smite his fellow servant. When you smite your fellow servant, what you stop doing? You stop ministering to them. You stop teaching the truth. You go away from the true doctrine. You start teaching some other stuff like the Lord, he's going to give you prosperity now. We just need to form a community of Israelites. You start saying that there's no Jacob's trouble. That's when you begin to smite your fellow servant, man, because you're getting weary. But you got to always think the Lord could be coming back tomorrow, even though we know that tomorrow, prophecy says that tomorrow ain't it. But we got to have that mindset that we could be out of here. Ain't just the Lord could be coming back tomorrow, but we could be out of here any day if we're not doing what's right. You got it, bro.
Verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle.
This is the condition of the battle. So we once sinned, and now we're suffering for it. So don't think that, hey, man, I'm suffering more than you. You know, I'm suffering. Why the Lord got to do this to me, man? No, man, because you sinned, and you suffering for it. And it's the condition of the battle that the Lord set. So what do? You gird up thy loins like a man. Can you get that? You gird up thy loins. And you say, listen, Lord, can we get Micah 7?
Micah 7, I got you.
Or was it Micah 2?
Micah 7 and 9.
Yeah, Micah 7 and 9. I'm about to say 2 and 9. I think 2 and 9 is something else. Talks about the woman, right?
So I think so, yeah.
Or, yeah, I think 2 and 9 talks about the woman.
This is Micah chapter 7, verse 9. It says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord.
That's right. So we got to come in this thing understanding that we're bearing the indignation of the Lord. So when we suffer, that's just the Lord giving us our just punishment. And what does that mean? That means the Lord is actually dealing with us. Because the Lord ain't going to punish somebody he don't care about. Just like your father's not going to punish someone he doesn't care about. You know? I remember my father when he used to give my ass whoopings. You know, he'd tell me, listen, I don't care what they do. I care about what you do. As my father always say, that's somebody else's child. You my child. He said just like that. So when we suffer, you know, when the Lord put that suffering on us in our spirit, it's because we're his children. You know, the chastisement of the Lord. So that's the condition of battle that he set for his elect. And that's to show you, man, ain't nobody perfect. Everybody has sinned. Even the prophets of old. You know, it probably wasn't written in the scriptures where they fell off. But in the past life, like maybe during the time of right before slavery, they probably was living a life which they shouldn't have, which they went off a little bit. So we got continuing to endure it. And a lot of the prophets, they suffer not just for their sake, but for Israel's sake, just like the Lord did. The Lord suffered for his sake, also Israel's sake. Because what is the Lord? He's Israel's salvation. And what is the prophets? The prophets are going to be the rulers in Israel. You know, they represent Israel. All right, when it talks about the 2 olive trees, it talks about the prophets, Yahweh Shemel Shai, representing the elect of Israel. It's not just talking about, it's not just the prophets of Yahweh Shemel Shai, because who's got to bring back Israel? It's the men of the Lord. The men of the Lord is bringing back Israel. So everybody up to 2/3, they're gonna be son and daughter. Well, not daughter. They're gonna be son by us, man. That's gonna be our sons and daughters. Those 2/3. We might not order, man. Your ass was wicked, bro. Let me stop. So but that's what's gonna happen. That's how it's gonna be. So we represent Israel in a sense, and that's a heavy burden for some. But if you look at it, put it in perspective, it's nothing compared to what we're going to receive in the kingdom. We're going to receive a whole lot in the kingdom. A lot of children, a lot of wives, a lot of money. More wealth, not money, but wealth. More wealth than we know what to do with. We'll happily give it to our children. Here, have some of it. I don't know what to do with it. That's what's going to happen for us. That's what the Lord's going to do for us. You got it, bro.
It says, this is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him.
Because I have sinned against him. What else?
Until he plead my cause.
Until he plead my cause. So when does the Lord plead the cause of Israel? Because Micah is acting on behalf of Israel. He's speaking on behalf of Israel. Israel is receiving this suffering, this punishment, right? And the prophets, we're receiving it as well on behalf of Israel and ourselves. So when is the Lord going to plead the cause for Israel? Well, that's when he returns. He returns, he brings everyone to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Can we get Joel 3? See, he's gathering the nation. He's already putting it into motion. He's already putting our salvation into motion. But you got men out here, can't say brothers, men out here getting weary. They say, oh man, he's taking too long. I got to change the doctrine. I ain't expect them to be this long. You got other men questioning. Whoa, you said this was going to happen. You said if we flee to Egypt, we was going to be safe, but we got arrested in Egypt. I'm making jokes, but it is true. This is what happened in the truth, because guys are not, they have itching ears. You got members of congregations, they get weary. Now you got your leader. The leader gotta do something about that to keep that money flowing, because he wicked. If he was righteous, he would just be like, nope, we sticking to the doctrine. You got it, bro?
Yeah.
So the Lord has already set everything into motion. He already set it up for Esau to be the hated of all the people in the world. He says, I will make you small among the nations. What is the Lord doing? He's doing exactly that. All right, everybody's seeing this man's shame, especially when it comes to his alphabet community. You got the alphabet community all over the place now. Esau's pushing that in different nations, and they hate that crap. Esau's pushing wickedness among the women in different nations, especially in Ishmael's nations. Ishmael hates that crap. Ishmael, hey, listen, he can have 3 wives, and he's got his Arab wife telling him that she should be the only one. What's wrong with her? She's been to America too much, But that's how it is. Esau's pushing that poison, that wine, that money. You got it, bro.
This is Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations,
Right?
and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
So Right now, when it comes to foreign affairs, you got these nations in the Middle East. They're fighting amongst each other, and they've been fighting for the whole time for the right to be called the people of the Lord. You got what they call it, Palestinians. You got so-called, you got the 1948ers, the Jewish. You got Ishmael, the Saudi Arabia. You got the Iranians. They all want to be in the mix when it comes to the people of the Lord. They all want to have a possession of the Holy Land, not knowing that the Holy Land is right here. It's the elect, right? The hopeful elect right now is the elect of Israel. That's the true Holy Land. But the Lord is gathering them in the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Where the Holy Land is at. Why? You got it, bro.
And it says, and will plead with them.
And will plead with them, right? What's it say in the last? What's it say in Micah 7 and 9? It said, for the Lord will plead my cause, right? And that word plead, we know that word plead goes back to the word judge. He's going to judge. He's going to make a righteous judgment. He's going to judge against the nations. He's going to judge us as a people when it comes to our punishment. Right? Can you read Micah 7 and 9 again?
This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause.
That's right.
And execute judgment for me.
And execute judgment for me. You got it, bro.
He will bring me
No,
forth. Oh,
Salaki, bro. You got it,
This
Haraka.
is Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's right.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
So that's what's going to happen. That's when the Lord's going to plead for Israel. He's going to plead for Israel in the valley of Jehoshaphat. He's already setting it up. You see it playing out in the news. Everybody thinks we're going to go into World War III. It's not a mystery. We're definitely going into World War III. You got BRICS. You got nations like Russia, Iran, South Africa, and then it's got China. They're setting up this thing called BRICS, where they're trying to change the global currency to the Chinese yuan. All right, put it back to the gold standard. And when that happens, what type of power is Esau going to have? Esau's power is going to be cut in half, because he's only going to be, he's only going to have power over the Western nations that are not a part of BRICS. Don't you know there's 20 other nations? There's 20 other nations in South America and Africa who have signed up to be a part of BRICS, who want to be a part of BRICS. So that means 20 other nations are not going to be controlled by the U.S. And these elite families who are more centered in Europe, Western Europe. That's 20 other nations. Hey, Esau ain't going to stand for that. He's going to take them to war. First, he's going to use his his little methods. He's going to try to infiltrate. You know, he's going to try to break down from within, but that ain't going to work. So what's he going to have to do? And it might work at first, but it's going to take too much time to where they're going to be like, man, we got to go to war. We got to launch something. We got to launch an attack. And what's going to happen? World War III. Because it's not just Russia and the U.S. It's 20 other nations in BRICS, right? Then you got NATO powers. You know, you got Russian allies. Turkey gonna have to decide who you with. Who am I with? Am I with the people that's right next to me in Russia and China, which is right next to me? Or am I with these people in the West and it's gonna take them 12 hours to get to me, to help me out? Well, we know what makes sense. What makes sense is for Turkey to leave NATO and to come and aid Russia and China. And that's what's going to happen, pursuing the prophecy. You got Ezekiel 37? No, Ezekiel 38. Pursuing the prophecy, that's going to happen, man. The African nations that are trying to be a part of BRICS,
Right.
they're going to be allied. What's it called? What they call them in the scriptures in Ezekiel 38?
Persia,
Ethiopia. Ethiopia. That's what they call them, because a large portion of Africa was called Ethiopia. I know it was two different Ethiopias.
Oh, okay.
They call it I think they call it West Ethiopia and East Ethiopia. But a large portion of Africa was called Ethiopia at one point to the Greeks.
Right.
Let's see. We can go back Micah 7 and 9. But we know the Lord's going to plead our cause in World War III, Valley of Jehoshaphat, where he goes to judge the nations for what they did against Israel. You got it, bro.
The book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 9 again. It says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord,
Uh-huh.
because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause, and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light,
That's right.
and I shall behold his righteousness. Verse 10, then she that is my enemy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's going to talk about the woman, all right? The woman, hey, the woman that has been, backstabbing us, all right? All right, she's going to be trodden down like the Mary in the streets, man. That's what's going to happen to our 2/3 women. All right, the elect, they're going to be saved. But the 2/3 of our people, they're going to be trodden down. All right, they're going to have to be destroyed on this side. Let's go back to 2nd Edges 9. So that's coming for Esau. Esau sees it. He sees it. He's preparing for it. Why do you think the IRS bought up so many weapons? Don't you know that the post office bought up a bunch of weapons too? The United States Postal Service, they bought up a bunch of weapons as well. So they know it's going to go down. They're going to have to bring in the the United Nations in here. And the United Nations is formed up of mostly Chinese. Chinese have the biggest, force, biggest contribution when it comes to people in the United Nations. They don't give a damn about us. They're gonna come. If you don't do what they say, they're gonna mow you down, and they might just mow you down anyway, because it's gonna be that bad. You got Esau fighting against Esau, because Esau think we the people. we the people. And then you're gonna have some Jake behind it, but then you're gonna have race wars going on too between Esau and Jake. All right, Jake gonna be killing Jake. You already know that. There's gonna be warlords in certain areas. It's gonna be bad. Wild Wild West out here all over again. And you got the prophets running from mercenaries. Mercenaries gonna be chasing the prophets. The prophets gonna flee. The Lord's gonna be with them. And then the false prophets, the Lord ain't gonna be with. All right, the false prophets, they might be helping the mercenaries. Oh yeah, he's over there. I hit him in one of my safe havens. Better believe if that was a real prophet, bro, he ain't gonna be in that safe haven. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Things is gonna get wild. You got it, bro. Second Edges 9.
Yeah. 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
That's right.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world,
uproars of people in the world. We just talked about it. You got it.
Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder, and powerful works, and endings, and effects, and signs.
That's right. So we're gonna see what we're gonna know what's going on. If you're of the elect, you're gonna have eyes to see what's going on, and everything's gonna tell you. Everything should tell you right now that we're pointing towards the prophecies. We're pointing towards World War III. We're pointing towards Jacob's trouble. But ultimately, that's all pointing towards our salvation. Wickedness is through the roof right now. You know, you got music videos, women almost damn naked, bro. And they putting it on TV for children to see. And you got children, you know, the TikTok video, children doing the TikTok dances. You got one dance where, you know, they see how low you can stay, you know, you can go. You can basically, you see how low you can go and how long you can stay down there. You got children doing that. Basically, it's the riding position, you know? It's crazy. You got adults doing it too. And adults do it. They ain't sugarcoating what they doing. You see, I saw the mama. It was the mom and the daughter, right? You know, the daughter was doing it all innocent like, but the mama, she knew what she was doing. She only getting it, no hands and all that stuff, you know, getting it, moving. You know, at first I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead, mom. Then I'm like, damn, her daughter right there, bro. What the hell? You know? But that's how it is. They everything is over sexualized now. So it wasn't like this when I was a kid. So imagine your kid growing up in this type of society. It's gonna be much worse for them, man. You know, I pray for the children. The elect children of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. Because they ain't got no chance. It's a miracle. It's gonna be a miracle for them. You know. You're gonna need righteous mothers and fathers, or at least a father, all right, for the children to be saved in this time. Because this place is through. What you got, bro?
I got Revelation 16, verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked.
What is the garment? The garment is I got it. I'm trying to put it in the words. But the garment is your manner in which you conduct yourself, and it's true. You know, your spiritual understanding. You know, it's like an emblem, recognizing that you're of the elect. You know, that's your garment, man. And like the scripture says, blessed is he that keepeth his garment. You gotta keep your garment in this thing. You lose that, just like a rapper loses his chain. You know, you get your chain taken. You don't want to get your chain taken, man. You don't want to get your garment taken, because when you get your garment taken, you're through. All right, the Lord's going to destroy you. You're going to be missile food.
Right. Yeah.
So keep your garments. Blessed is he that keeps his garments. You got it, bro.
It says, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
And
then it goes into Harm of God 1 next.
You can speak on that. I mean, you can bring it up.
Verse 16, and he gathered them together in a place, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon or Harmageddon. All right. Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, Con. All right, read that again for me.
Yeah. This is Revelation 16, verse 16. And he gathered them together in a place.
Actually, read up for me.
I got you.
Can you find the starting point?
Oh yeah, I got a good starting point. Revelation 16, verse 12. It says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Right, and that's another prophecy that we're waiting on. We're waiting on the river Euphrates to dry up. What's going to happen? There's an angel sealed up in the river Euphrates right now. You got unbelievers talking about something. If God was all powerful, why does he have to seal up angels in the river Euphrates? That's just what he did. He sealed angels because they do what he said. He sealed them up. He told them to seal themselves in the river Euphrates. When the river Euphrates dries up, they'll be unsealed. And they can release all hell on the world. You got it, bro.
Back at verse 16, and he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which is Harmageddon, Mountain of the Troops. All right, that's dealing with World War III.
That's right. Valley of Jehoshaphat. You know, that's what that dealing with. What it's dealing with, man. We're getting close to that time. The river Euphrates right now is almost dry. If you look at, I saw some pictures of it, a few years ago, and then I saw some pictures of it like maybe a couple months ago, and it's vastly different than what it was a few years ago. That place is drying up quickly, and it looks like, if you look at it now, you'll probably say, well, we ain't got nothing but 6 months left.
Right.
If you look at it right now, we ain't got nothing but 6 months left.
Right.
We gotta get right. You know, but you can't be in that mindset. Actually, there's a duality to that, man. You can't haste too much. You want to pace yourself. You don't want to run, and then you can't run. You can't go no further. You want to pace yourself. This is a marathon. So, getting right, you can't get right all at once. It's a process. It's a continuous process of refining yourself. We're not even refining ourselves. The Lord is doing it. There's a continual process of the Lord refining us into that precious gold, precious silver. So we don't know when we're going to be finished, because we're not the author and we're not the finisher of our faith. The Lord is. But if we accept it in that time, we know that our faith is complete.
I was going to add on to your point, something that the elder Caracas out of Vegas said, which was beautiful. He said the great river Euphrates is like an hourglass. You know,
that's right.
That it's the scripture says the end of all things is at hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the time period that we're coming into. You know, this devil, you know, is orchestrating evil in a major way. You know, Title 42, that's big in the news. You know, the MOTB is always big.
You got it, bro. Slocky.
You know,
Esau, man.
but the scriptures say none of these shall fail. None of these prophecies are going to fail. So when you got Vocab Malone saying, you know, that what do you be saying, man? You know, about slavery. He basically don't like to read Revelation the 13th chapter. He don't like to read that.
Yeah, because he's going into slavery. If Vocab Malone is an Edomite, I mean, even if he's not an Edomite, if he's of the other nations, I just think he might be of the other nations. Vocab Malone's going into slavery, regardless. You know, and he doesn't want that. You know, he'll be okay with servitude. You know,
He's not an Edomite. Man.
but he don't like that slavery, man. But Vocab, it is what it is. You're going into slavery.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you're not an Israelite, you're going into slavery. And then if you are an Israelite, you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to have to come back. But you're going to come back in your right mind. You know? There's some wicked-ass Israelites that came up against the cause of Israel. Many. You got the ones that served under the Roman Empire. They was like, listen, we want Rome to be our rulers. We have no king but Caesar. You know, that's what they said. So it could be, he could be an Israelite. But, you know, we believe he's heathen. He's a heathen. You know, he's a slippery serpent, man. That guy is slippery. You got it, bro.
Oh,
But no, actually, that was a good point that the brother made. He said the Elder Karatazar said that the Valley of Jehoshaphat is like an hourglass, and that's exactly what it is. It's telling us how much time we have left.
right.
And you look at it. You know, sometimes in an hourglass, you might think you got less time than what's actually left. You know,
Right.
because how slow the sand moves. And then sometimes you might think you got more time than what's left.
Right.
You know, so you look at the river Euphrates and you're like, man,
Right.
ain't no time left.
Right.
Cause honestly, you trying to figure out, like, is the Lord going to wait till the last drop of water is dried up, or just, you know, to the last big body of water is dried up?
Right.
So you don't really know, but you still have to prepare, not doomsday prep, but prepare in the spirit. Put that armor of the Lord on. Put the faith on. All right, because the faith is going to do you wonders. You're going to be able to move mountains with that faith. All right, you're going to be saved through that, and that faith is going to make you whole. Because right now, you know, as a whole, Israel's not whole, man. But the elect, with the faith that we're going to receive and the faith that we have now, we're going to be whole. We're going to be made whole. You got it, bro.
I got another precept for you. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand.
Yep.
Be ye therefore sober and
Uh-huh.
watch unto prayer.
That's right. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Go ahead.
And it said, well, it goes into charity next.
No. No, there's more on that.
All right.
Keep going.
Verse 8, and above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
Uh-huh.
Use hospitality one to another without grudging, as every man have received a gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Lord.
And when you do that, man, that charity covering a multitude of sins because you're looking out for your brother. All right, what does the Lord say? You cannot love me and hate your brother. You cannot love the Lord and hate your brother. So you have to have charity among your brothers. You have to do for your brothers. You have to look after their, look after their souls. If a brother's going off, if a brother's falling short, you got to pick that brother back up. You got to let him know, hey, brother, you know, we got to get to it. We got to do this work. You know? That having charity among your brother is going to help you out in the end. You know? Because, hey, what's the scripture say? It says, it says, like, it's a good thing for brothers to dwell in unity.
Yeah, that's Psalms 133. Let me see.
That's how it's supposed to be. This is a brotherhood, right? And all the elect brothers make up the body of Yahweh Shai, the temple, the tabernacle of the Lord. So if one brother is falling short, there's a crack in that temple. Ain't supposed to be no crack. Our temple is supposed to be flawless.
Right.
Flawless. It's supposed to be without blemish. All right. The Lord put a crack. He put a crack in the old temple. Why? Because it wasn't good enough. The old temple wasn't good enough for us. We have this temple, which is our body, our vessels, right? That's supposed to be the temple of the Lord. It's supposed to be the flawless, perfect temple of the Lord, without blemish, man. Go ahead.
It says, verse 11.
So charity does a lot of good. Slocky, you got it.
Says verse 11, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Lord. If any man minister, let him do it as the ability which the Lord giveth.
That's right. That's the Lord gives you the scriptures, right? So use the scriptures. All right, you got it.
That the Lord in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever. Forever and ever. Amen.
All right. Go ahead up.
You want to go in the fiery trial?
Yep.
All right, come. Verse 12, beloved, thinking not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
And we just been talking about that earlier, man. Don't think it's strange when things happen to you, when you think things are supposed to be comfortable. I mean, when you got a groove in this truth, you think things are just supposed to go your way. Man, I got a pattern down. I'm going to do this at this time. I'm going to do that at that time. Tomorrow, I'm going to get that done. All right, in the world, it was like that for you. But in this truth, the Lord ain't going to make it easy for you. Why? Because it's a fiery trial. What did he call, I'm forgetting the name. The high priest. The high priest. Who's the high priest?
Not
I know who you're talking about. It's in Zephaniah 3, right?
Zechariah 3.
Zechariah 3.
The high priest in Zechariah 3.
Come on, man. What's his name, Joe?
Starts with a J. Joshua.
Joshua. That's what.
High priest Joshua. He said the high priest Joshua is what?
Yeah.
A branch plucked out of the fire. No, a brand plucked out of the fire, man. And meaning that Israel has to go through a fiery trial before we're made. Exactly. The brother's right. Before we're proved. So we have to go through that fiery trial. So think it not strange when things happen to you where you least suspect it. Where you expecting things to go smoothly in life. That ain't gonna happen no more for you now that you're in this truth. I tell you, when I came into the truth, when I first came into the truth, I got a lot of backlash, a lot of pushback on a lot of things when I first came into the truth. And I was like, damn, I ain't never get this much pushback before. You know, when I first came to the camp, the first 2 times I came to the camp in Myrtle Beach, I got some pushback. I never get that much pushback before, ever. In my relationships, in anything. At work, it was always something. And I'm like, this is how it's gonna be? All right, I'm gonna take this. I'm you know. You wanna be ready for what's to come. You wanna have a kind of stoic mindset. Stoicism is all about why worry about the things that you can't control? Because the Lord is in control. See, one thing that Stoicism didn't have in their philosophy was the Lord being in control. See, we have that. So we have a completion, a perfection of the philosophy. Because Stoicism ultimately came from Israelites. Israelites that thought, and you know, they philosophized, whatever, however you say it, man. They wanted to analyze their life, and they came up to the conclusion, man, you can't control the things. I mean, you can't worry about the things you can't control. So don't be up or don't be down. Just be in the middle, ready for what's to come.
Also said that too.
Right. Right.
He said that.
And they got it from the scriptures. They got it from the prophets. But it's a mindset that everybody could have, you know. But the completion of that mindset is knowing who's actually in control. And that's the Lord. Because we can go throughout life, these things happen to us, and we work our hardest to make things right again. you know, that would be in vain. Because in this truth, we know who's in control. Because sometimes all we have to do is pray to the Lord, sometimes make a video, sometimes do the studying. And then things just magically just get back right again. You know, they just magically just come back to, go back to normal once we do those things. But in the world, they would tell you, oh man, you gotta do this, do that, do that. You gotta jump through hoops. You gotta go through that ring of fire, and then you'll be right again. But for us, it's just like we pray, we study, we make videos, things will be right. Things just happen. And you'd be like, man, this is all I had to do from the beginning? But your mind, you just stubborn, man. But that's the fiery trial that you're going through. It's the fiery trial of renewing your mind. Because we got to get back to relying on the Lord more so than we rely on ourselves. Because the world will teach you, you self-made, you got to do it yourself, man. You got to get out there and work. That's a little different from what we have in this truth. All right, the Lord is our root, right? He says, I'm the root. And without me, what happens? You can do nothing. So we always have to get back to the Lord, renew our mind towards the Lord, and things will happen for us. That's what's so beautiful about the elect, man. That's so beautiful about being in this truth and being part of the hopeful elect. Because these things happen for us, and it gives us more faith. And it makes us that much more sure that we may be of the elect. But we always have that another thing in the back of our mind. The Lord's used men before and has cast them away. So we gotta stay on the right path. But Stoicism, it's a good philosophy. But as long as you got, you understand that the Lord is in control. So when things not going right, you're supposed to cast your burdens upon the Lord, right? Psalms 55, can we get that? Psalms 55:22. Where you at right now?
1 Peter.
Okay, Carl.
So I'm gonna read, or you?
Yeah, I want you to hold it.
Psalms 55 from the top.
22.
Oh, 22.
Yeah. No, is it 22 or 14?
No, you wait.
All right, 22.
All right. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 55, verse 22. It says, cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved.
That's right. He says, cast thy burdens upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never cause the righteous to be moved. So, what are we supposed to do when things happen onto us? We're supposed to cast that onto the Lord. And be patient. Wait. Because a lot of us got a problem with waiting, man. A lot of us got a problem with waiting. But we'll go back to First Peter.
I got something to back you up whenever you get to your verse 13 and 1 Peter.
I mean, you can go ahead, go ahead. Bring it out. What you got?
This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you, be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For the Lord resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Lord, that he may exalt you in due time. Here's the point: casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you.
That's right. You got it, bro. You want to speak on it?
Yeah, you know, and like the brother mentioned, you know, when we're in this truth, this knowledge and wisdom, we're going to have a lot of strange things happen unto us. And that's really mercy. You know, we might think, that we're getting punished out of the blue for, whatever reason, but the Lord can be showing us mercy from putting us to death, or, the Lord could be showing us mercy through, having us abstain from certain things. And yes, it is a hard pill to swallow, but that's when you go into, like the brother mentioned, stoicism, and that's a good thing because it teaches you not to be emotional. And that's how the Lord wants us to move in this truth, not being emotional. That's why the scripture says, let go of the mortal thoughts, because our main focus is solely to do the will of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. And the Lord's wishes is for us to come out on the highways and the byways to preach his word and to feed his sheep, which is the elect. And when we do that, the Lord will add everything else unto us that we need in our life to get by. And it may not be a surplus of things, materialistic things, or whatever the case may be, but the Lord will make sure that you're fed, you got a roof over your head, like First Timothy the 6th chapter says. It says, be content with what you have, roughly paraphrasing. So we're supposed to be content with having clothes on our back, a roof over our head, and doing his work, because the Lord is about to destroy this place. All right? And it's evident that the Lord is about to destroy this place because this word is getting out there more and more. The famine of the word is coming. All right, you got, what else, man? You just prophecy, man. Prophecy is the main thing that indicates that the Lord is almost here, man. So that's why the elder apostles are constantly on us about watching and praying, because that's how close we are into, obtaining salvation.
Yeah, we're mighty close, man. Closer than I can really describe. That's how close we are.
Yeah.
That scripture in what is it? We're nearer than we once believe.
Yeah.
That's how close we are, man. Even back then, Apostle Paul said it. But we're even closer than that. We're much closer than that.
Right.
So imagine, just think of how close you think we are. We're probably closer than that, man. I can't really describe it. Hard to put it into words. Let me see. All right, the brother John 144K has Proverbs 30:8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. And that's what we should be. That's what should be acceptable unto us. Not these riches of this world. We shouldn't want that, because the riches of this world, man, is polluted. It's polluted, and it's always going to fade away, man.
Right.
Moth and rust, it corrupts it's going to corrupt the riches of this world. The what's it called? The metals that they make the money out of, it's not even silver anymore. It's not even silver and gold. It's zinc and probably iron. That stuff gets rust. It gets rusty. Gold and silver doesn't get rusty like that.
Right.
But iron and zinc, all that stuff gets rusty. It's corruptible metal. You can burn that metal, and that thing will burn away, man. When in the refining process, it's no good. You can't keep that. You talk about the paper money, the cotton money. Come on, man. You can burn that. We're gonna burn that in Jacob's trouble. We're gonna burn that for to heat ourselves. To keep the heat during the winter. It says, because the Lord says, I pray your plight not be in the winter. It's gonna be in the winter. It might be in the winter. We'll see. Shoot, hey, we might have to go a whole year of suffering Jacob's trouble, man, before the Lord returns. We don't know. Proverbs 30:9. Lest I be full and deny thee. That's right. Because that's what these people that have riches have. I mean, that's what these people that have riches do. They deny the Lord. I'm self-made. Rick Ross. I'm Ricky Ross, the boss. You know, I'm self-made man. You know, that's what people think. You hear you if you like watching people who are entrepreneurs, they always talk about how they made it, how they did this, they did that.
Right.
They don't give praises to the Lord. You know, this world has become ungodly, and if you do give praises to the Lord, you're less popular. You're not popular when it comes to that type of niche or profession. It says, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. That's right. So you don't want to be too poor either, because you start when you're too poor, you get into mischief.
Right.
You start sinning. You start stealing. You start doing some other things. Start scamming. You know. And we talked about it earlier, man. The people that scam and steal, they really have a poor man's mindset. But we have a rich mindset. But this our flesh humbles us. You know, what we have in the physical realm humbles us. Because if you look at a brother, you know, a brother might have his home a certain way. His home is clean, his home is nice. He got the finer things, but he ain't got it all like that. Because his mind is up here, but the physical is down there,
Right.
which balances him out. You know, he's got a balance. But these other people, they don't have a balance like that.
Right.
You know, we live two lives, man. Really, we live two lives. We live in this world. We gotta be in this world, and then we live in this truth, man.
Right.
We're rich in this truth.
Right. Yep.
I'm not saying that we live a double life. We one foot in, one foot out. I'm saying that we gotta be in this world amongst these other people, and they look at us a certain way, and then we among brothers, we look at each other a certain way, and then we look at the rest of the world a certain way.
Right. Yep.
You know, that's what's going on with us, and it balances us out.
Right. Yep.
Because if we just had a life in the world, man, we'd be depressed as all I don't know what, man. Especially the things that we go through. If we went through the same things that we go through in this truth in the world, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We might give in to robbing and stealing if we didn't have this truth. You know? That's something that we have that we can hold precious. That we have in this truth that other people don't have. All right, the water brother for that scripture. You know? What was we at?
We read Casting Your Care. The brother read Burdens.
Yeah, he read Psalm 55, but what was we at before that?
Oh, the suffering really.
Oh yeah, we was at 1 Peter 4.
Yeah.
Keep going, bro.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 13. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy.
So, because we suffer some of the same persecutions and some of the same sufferings that Yahweh Shai did, and we can rejoice in it, because if we suffer with the Lord, we're going to receive the same reward as the Lord, you know? And we're going to be joint heirs with the Lord and rule rule the coming world. It's not just we're going to rule our people. We're just going to be ambassadors of our people. And we're going to rule the entire world. Our people are going to own this world. And we're going to be the heads of our houses. They're going to say, house of Quaha, How you say it, brother? Quinahawath. The house of, is it Dawa or Dawa? Dawa? The house of Dawa. The house of Tazamoth. The house of Amawan. The house of Harakah. And Lower Will in the house of Bayan, man. Bayan. And our house is going to be held in esteem, man. Lord willing. That's what they're going to say. But right now, we're being humble. Even with the minds that we have, we're geniuses because we have a mind to see in the spirit. We have eyes to see in the spirit and minds to perceive in the spirit. We're geniuses, but we're not seen as geniuses. We're seen as, you know, they see us as bums. You know, those crazy guys on the streets with dresses on. That's how they see us. You got it, bro. But for all of that, we're going to receive the reward with Yahweh Shah because we share the persecution and suffering as Yahweh Shah. You got it, bro.
All right, I'm going to read it again.
Start from 12.
12. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Lord resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified.
That's right. You know, they don't see the value in serving the Lord. So when we come out here and we glorify the Lord, they don't understand. They speak evil of the Lord, especially the Lord that we serve, the Lord that we know, the Lord that we preach and minister. They don't want no parts of him. You know, they speak evil of him because we say the nation's going into slavery. They think that's evil. No, that's justice. That's justice, man. Esau's got them in the mindset. You can't pay evil with evil. What the Lord said, eye for an eye. The Lord said, I will repay them who trouble you, man. I will pay them tribulation, those that trouble you. And the Lord cares about us way more than he cares about the nations. He don't give a damn about the nations. The nations were made, created. The worlds were created for the Israel's sake. All right, second Ezra what? 6? The worlds were created for Israel's sake. So the fact that they did that, man, you know the Lord's going to get his justice. The Lord's going to have justice for us. You got it, bro.
15, but let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer.
Now that's an important part. Now when you suffer in this world, when you suffer in this truth, you suffer for the Lord's sake. You suffer for the gospel's sake. Let none of you suffer as an evildoer. So let none of you suffer as a person who was a thief, as a person who was a murderer. So let not you get killed as a murderer. Say, oh, that person was a murderer. No, what somebody's supposed to accuse you of is for your preaching, for what you believe. Let it be that. Because, you know, if you, like, every time I get into an altercation with someone, I'm a big guy. And when people they don't like you, man. Like, when people your size, they'll fight you, they'll square up on you. You know, they'll fuss at you, and they'll probably leave it at that. But when people, I'm a big guy, so most people ain't my size. So they like to take it a little extra. They like to threaten gunplay and gun violence and all that stuff. you know. But I always think in the back of my head, man, is this happening to me because I preach the Lord? Or is this happening to me because it's some random thing? And, you know, if I get put to death here, let it be for the Lord's sake, not because this guy don't like me. So there's some sense of security in my mind. Like, you know, I'm not gonna get put to death here because, you know, it ain't for the Lord's sake. If I get put to death, let it be for the Lord's sake, like Stephen. You know? Let me be stoned like Stephen for preaching the truth. Not for getting to an altercation with some nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Paul is saying. If you're gonna be put to death, let it be like Stephen. If you're gonna be persecuted, let it be like the men that preached Yahweh Bashim al-Shad. Can you read that again up?
This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters.
And don't do those things either, because you may suffer for it. And oh shit, you may lose your place in the elect. All right, you can go ahead, bro.
Verse 16, yet if any man suffers as a Christian or anointed, let him not be ashamed, but let him glory the Lord on this behalf. For the,
read that again, huh?
verse 16, yet if any man suffer as a anointed, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Lord on this behalf.
That's right. You're supposed to always glorify the Lord and not be ashamed in the Lord. You know? And if you suffer for it, glorify the Lord when you suffer. So you're supposed to pray to the Lord. You're supposed to ask him for strength. That's how you glorify the Lord when you suffer. Because ultimately your suffering is coming from the Lord. It's not coming from anywhere else. We just spoke about Stoicism, right? Stoicism, the completion of that philosophy is understanding that
That judgment must begin at the house of the Lord. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Lord?
What should the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Lord?
And
you know? Because, oh, the next scripture is going to explain it. You got it.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
That's right. Because the righteous is scarcely going to be saved. We got to remember that. It ain't going to come easy. We got to go through a hard, what they call it? Tight, hard place? The straits. Yeah. We got to go through the straits to be able to be saved. And that straight path, only one person can go through at a time. And a bunch of people can go through at a time. So, you know, it might get dicey. All right, right before the end, right before you beamed up in the chariots, that missile might be a minute away or 30 seconds away. You know, and the Lord's going to beam us up. Everybody's going to see it, and the missile's still going to be coming. The alarm's still going to be going off. People going to be like, what's going on? Then they're going to realize the missile's still coming. You know, and they're going to see all these people getting saved. It's going to be crazy. They're going to be in the fire. Once the missile hit, they're going to be in the fire. They're going to be looking at all the people getting beamed up in the chariots. We're going to be looking down at them. Ooh. You know, I wouldn't want to be them. Lord willing. All right, the righteous is scarcely going to be saved. So you know damn well the wicked, they they ain't got no chance, man. The Lord's gonna laugh at their when their fear cometh, man. He will mock when their fear cometh. That's it on that. I think it stops at 19. Yeah.
I got something for you. This is 2nd Ezra 7, verse 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things and yet shall not see the wide. All right? And that wide is talking about the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
Or that field that's of good things. But here's the thing. They suffered straight things, meaning they went through that straight and narrow gate, like the scripture says, through much tribulation shall you enter in the kingdom of heaven. But it says, for they that have done wickedly, that's 2/3 of our people, they have suffered straight things, meaning they're going to be in them concentration camps. They're going to be tortured by Esau. They still going to have to suffer to get to the kingdom, but they're not going to be, ultimately of the first dominion.
That's right, man. There's going to be people in the concentration camps. There's going to be people getting mowed down by Esau and by these other nations that ain't going to be part of the elect. There's going to be people that get tortured and killed, women that get raped and murdered, children that get senselessly tortured, man, that ain't part of the elect. They suffer those straight things and they couldn't get into the kingdom of heaven. But we got to make our way or our path sure. Our calling and our election sure. So that if we do have to suffer the straight things, I mean, we suffer the straight things now. But if we do have to suffer the straight things then, that we'll at least be saved. We'll at least get into the wide place,
Right. Yeah.
You got it.
It says, for they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And that's what Yahweh Shai said. He said, if you're not born again, you should not see the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
And those that are born again, which is the elect, they have cast off the old man. They cast off the cares and the love of this world. Basically, they just forsaken their whole lives. And they're suffering through abstaining from the things of this world to get to the kingdom of heaven, because they've been called and they've been chosen ultimately.
Oh yeah, brothers know. Hey, every brother that comes out in the highways and byways understand, man. We giving up a day that when we could be working, making a little bit of money. We're and that's, we rather be out here anyway. You know what I'm saying? We'd rather be out here anyway. But that's like this day right here. Esau don't like that. You gonna take off on one of the most important days of the week? It's hard to get a job if you gotta take off this certain day. You know what I'm saying? So it's not only that, because we don't care. We'd rather be out here than work anywhere. But it'd be hard to get a job if you say, hey man, I gotta get off on Saturdays. I can't work Saturdays. It'd be hard to get a job if you ain't already got one. So you are sacrificing a lot. You sacrificing on certain opportunities that you could have, so-called opportunities, but really it's just like a slave contract. But when you don't look at it like that if you're in the world. Us in this truth, we understand that that ain't nothing but a contract to the devil. Us working our ass off, paying bills, this and the third, ain't nothing but a contract to the devil. We'd rather serve the Lord. But people in the world, hey man, why you ain't doing this? Why you gotta get off on Saturday, bro? You don't wanna make no money? Hey man, it's about getting this money, bro. You don't want no overtime. You know, I know y'all brothers not heard that.
Man, yeah.
Hey man, we going to eat some. We're going to eat at what's it called, Swig and Swine. Hey, that's a little restaurant we got down here, Swig and Swine. You know, damn Swing and Swine. It's some damn pork, man. I ain't eating that shit.
Shit's so nasty.
You know, but all types of stuff, man. Relationships. You know, opportunities to make more money. Brothers give up a lot. You know, women. Brothers going through women, and it's not that we just being lustful men. It's because the women, they can't handle what we go through, because they're the weaker vessel. They ain't gonna be able to handle it. If we get a woman that's pleased to dwell with us, hey, you know, let that be. But sometimes it's really difficult in this world when you're trying to serve the Lord the right way. So that's the straits that we're going through now. So that we don't have to go through those straits. The brother giving the face. You thinking about something. You thinking about a time.
We always thinking.
Yeah, man.
We always thinking. Those are empty things.
Huh?
Those, like it says in verse 25 right there.
Oh, you got something in 25? Yeah, go ahead, bring it out.
Verse 25, and therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things.
Go ahead, read that again. Oh, read 24 again and 25.
24, okay. But 2nd Ezra 7 verse 24, but his law have they despised.
That's right.
And denied his covenants and his statutes.
Yep.
Have they not been faithful and have not performed his works? And therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things.
That's right. All right, for the empty are empty things. Those are the people of the world. And for the full are full things. That's for us. You know, so if we want to be full, we got to stick to the spiritual things. Things that's going to serve us in the spirit to make us full.
Right.
But for those that, you know, for those that, I won't say they want to be empty. No, they don't want to be empty. But they just don't have a mindset to be full like us. You know, that's for them. The empty things are for them. Because they're empty. You know? You got it, bro.
Verse 26, behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen that now is withdrawn from the earth.
Who's the bride? That's Israel. All right, so when the prophets stand up, not only the prophets, but the elect of Israel stand up. And what I mean by stand up is time's up, man. Esau's foot is off our neck. The bride is here. You got it, bro.
Verse 27, whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders.
Whosoever is delivered from those evils, Jacob's trouble. All right, Esau coming after you like a madman, sparing none. Who's ever delivered from them, they're going to receive salvation, man.
And it says that in 2nd Ezra 9, verse 7.
Yeah.
You know, they have been sanctified from the beginning or something like that. You know, they that shall escape or be preserved from the said perils. You know, that's the elect that have been predestinated.
I think 17.
17?
Yeah, I think, no. I think that's 17, bro. Is it 7?
Yeah.
It's 7?
Yeah.
Okay, you good.
You know, so that's the elect, man. That's the Lord's bride. All right, there's going. What is that parable? The bridegroom, which is Yahushua. He's coming back, man. He's on his way back to claim his bride, man. The elect, to take the bride in the chambers.
That's right.
You know.
And we got to be on point. We got have our garments on us. We gotta have the oil in our vessel, and we gotta be ready for it. We can't sleep. All right, we can't be caught sleeping when the Lord comes, when the Lord returns. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. You know, we wanted to go into Esau's destruction, and we got into Israel's salvation. But hey, it just comes full circle, man. It all comes full circle. You know, the scripture is a living book, you know, and the spirit gonna guide us how we gonna go. The Lord willing, it was a edifying camp, Lord willing. You were edified. And we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. All right. The water to all the brothers on the comment board, and the sisters. All right, the water to the brothers who posted scriptures, you know, and Shalom.